Welcome everyone. My name is Mahen Gosar and I am a financial consultant at Walgreens in Chicago. Let me introduce today's holistic science expert, Swami Deepak Anandji. Swami Deepak Anandji has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and has several years of experience working in cement and petrochemical industry. From early childhood, he had an inclination to be a celibate. He received self-realization through the grace of self-realized holistic scientist Sri A. M. Patel in 1983. Since then, he has pursued his dream to work selflessly to spread the message of holistic science for the upliftment of the entire humankind. He has devoted his entire life to studying holistic science and visiting rural areas and cities in India, US, UK, Canada, Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and you name it, to spread the whole understanding of life through holistic science. Welcome, Deepak Anandji.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for the introduction.
Yeah. So, yeah. So today's topic, Deepak Anandji, is again linked to happiness. We will be
Right.
starting a series on what binds us. The main aspects of binding karmas are anger, pride, deceit, greed, liking, and disliking. We'll start by understanding anger and ways to conquer it using holistic inner science. So maybe you can give some high level overview about the binding aspects of karma, uh, and then dive into how do we get anger, what is anger, and things like that.
Okay, so first of all, we will try to understand what is anger. It's principally outburst and fountain of charged live matter particles. What it means, the way we burst crackers, in the same way, anger is also outburst of the material which is there within us, the situation outside just ignites it and we get angry. It is a feeling of aversion, it is a feeling of dislike. And who get angry, he is the person who get first, and then others on whom he get upset also the because of his suffering. It has a lasting effect on us and also on one whom we get angry, maybe for hours together, maybe for days. And it leaves a kind of impression on others about us, angry men. So, this is basically understanding of anger. Many people are such, however, you may try to disturb them or situations are very awkward for them, they never get angry. And there are other people who get angry just for no reason or even in minor circumstances, people. So there are many aspects of anger. One of the thing could be even it is part of one's nature. So the type of food what we eat also has effect on our nature. So it can contribute to our anger. The kind of company we keep that also supports nature of our self. Now, we have to understand, although anger is considered as a weakness, yes, it is a weakness at times, but anger could be strength also. Anger could be used as a weapon also. So, it is a wonderful aspect of our nature, which we need a lot of elaboration. We will try to evaluate that.
Okay. No, that is, I probably fall in the latter part. I know I got angry for no reason at times, and then I wondered why that happened. Uh, how can we? And you mentioned it could be driven by circumstances, people, and could be used as a strength as well. How can we deal with this
See,
anger using the principles of holistic science?
exactly. One of the understanding what we can have using that as a strength. See, uh, many times your subordinates, they don't listen to you, or your children, they don't listen to you. Then you may just dramatize the whole situation that you are very angry at them, you're very upset with them, and that's how it creates a kind of terror, of course. But then that makes the other person what you want to say, or they will do what you want them to do. I mean, what you want to do, they will do what you want to do. So it can be used as strength also, because many things, if you tell lightly, then it could be misunderstood. How you can use that as a strength? At the same time, you can handle anger. You come across a disturbing situation. So holistic science has answer to that also, because nothing can happen out of nothing. In the sense, for every happening, there is a cause. There is a reason for any happening. And if it is affecting you, if it is you who is suffering, then it got to be your fault, because without your fault, you cannot be suffering. So there is no point in getting angry at people who are cause of your suffering. So this is how you can calm down. At the same time, when you're angry, when you know the consequences of being angry, it is said that in our body, we feel that only there is one life, but there are so many other microorganisms depending on our body, living as a kind of parasite in our body. They get affected, get angry. So we have to think about that also. So from that angle, we can understand that we need to address this left side of our nature. We say people are short tempered, they get angry very easily. So, here there is a wonderful direction given by it. Whatever happens in our life, whatever situation we come across in our life, whatever people we come across in our life, we are responsible for that. And when we understand and accept that responsibility, learn to handle them and other situations of our life with equanimity in a balanced way. Okay?
Hmm. Yep. Okay. So let's elaborate on how do we, how. So you mentioned that we can, from our holistic science understanding, that all the people and circumstances are because of a reason, and we are responsible for having them in our life.
Right.
Right. Good. We can use that tool to deal with the situation and people, and that way we can.
So you can say that it is also any difficult situation, or rather any situation, is an effect of previous causes.
Mm,
So the unpleasant situation what we come across through individuals is a result of the previously committed mistakes which makes us suffer. And I must learn to bear with inner balance, because people can digest everything, but they are not able to digest suffering.
okay.
And suffering is such a thing that is the outcome of every situation of our life. Line of every life situation is suffering. The situation and the end result is suffering. So if we have known and learned to handle suffering, then there won't be any reason to get angry.
Mm,
All we want to use that as a strength, we must get angry on ourselves for the mistakes what we commit, and for the mistakes we keep committing. And for that, many times we blame others. Every happening is a natural happening as per holistic science. And natural happening means nobody is responsible for that happening, but look around for one who suffers. The sufferer is at fault. So that's how there is no need to blame others and to get angry. We learn to
okay.
deal with total calmness. Okay.
So how, as per holistic science, how does anger create binding karmas? Can you elaborate on
Yeah,
that,
that's
please?
yes, yes, yes. That is a wonderful. When a person gets angry, his consciousness becomes in the sense the use of his inner vitality is for making, or it is used in such a way that other person get hurt. And a situation where others get hurt has a very negative effect on our consciousness. The outcome of that kind of use of our inner vitality is we are causing karmas which could make us born in hell. Because the way we have contemplated, like in a way, hurting others, the result of that, it comes back to us as a kind of punishment wherein we are born in hell, and that place where we are continuously suffering. We are exposed to unabated suffering of. And also one more thing, heaven or hell, it is not imagination. Although many times it is misinterpreted, but they do exist because those are the revelations made by the enlightened ones, the holistic scientist. So even if we understand the dire consequences of getting angry, rebounds back on us, what you gain out of getting angry is nothing in compared to what you lose. So of uh, our human form, because then you are born in hell. So definitely nobody would like to leave the human form, because it is a human form is a wonderful junction wherein we have the choices we want. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you. So sometimes we have this good understanding, but despite of that, we could end up getting angry on a person or about a situation.
Right.
Is there a process where we can use to ask forgiveness? That we can use to ask forgiveness?
Yes, this is also a wonderful aspect of holistic science. The reason is there are many people who never get angry at all. There are other people who are like short tempered and they get angry for small little things that happen with them. So once you may decide not to get angry, but the situation just pops up and there is outburst of anger. So holistic science uh, wonderful solution of recalling those moments, accepting those mistakes, being sorry, asking for forgiveness, and deciding never to commit that mistake, never to get angry, because there is always a better way, a peaceful way to handle a situation. So we can always make the other person understand importance of what you are talking, what you are telling them, and make them follow, make them understand. We use anger to get things done our way. So people are in terror, like when we get angry, and they say, "Okay, okay, you don't get mad. I'll do it. I'll do it." But we don't know that by doing that, by following that path, we are terrorizing people. At the same time, we are hurting people. We are hurting ourselves, and that should not happen. So, uh, acknowledgement of this mistake, sorry, asking for forgiveness, and resolving never to commit any mistake again, such mistakes again, really help us eliminate these weaknesses from ourselves. The wonderful uh, gift of holistic science, ourselves, whatever mistakes are committed by us. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. So we'll at this point, I think we will go ahead and open up the floor for questions from the audience. So
Yeah,
so
good.
we can have audience question and answer session now. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself, where you are from, and then ask your question.
Yeah. Hello, Deepak Anandji. This is Mithul Taylor, working for TCS, and currently I am residing at Johannesburg.
Oh, I
Anger.
see.
Yeah, I've got two types of question related to anger. One is getting angry on someone, and rest is like getting anger or getting upset, or if things doesn't goes uh, as per your wish.
Right.
Of the first part, mine usually happen in my office. Like sometimes I get angry on my superiors, my managers. Like I don't say, definitely I can't say them, but inside it goes too much. Like many people here, I've seen that their work is like they do very less amount of work, and their part we are doing, or let's say I am doing. I get very much angry. Why are you here? Sometimes I feel that I'll just go and say, just leave this organization. It reaches to that level. I know it's bad for me. I know this is something which is in my part, which is coming to me. I try to explain myself. I try to get relaxed, but sometimes it goes too much. So how to deal with such problems? Like it comes like every 2 or 3 days, I start feeling such things.
First of all, whenever you are working, you have to follow your superior. We can understand many times superiors could be, but I feel that if you are a kind of blue eye of your boss, of your superior, you can have extra favor, not just you should be, but only if it is not reasonable at times, then you may resort to something else. Primary concerns should be such that you have to fulfill the requirements of your boss. However, it could be frustrating. It is well understood and accepted also. But then you should also have the consequences. Where you go, there are people and there are with lapses in that nature. Learn to get along with them. So just getting upset on us and especially superiors, it is quite dangerous at times because they are like they are the boss. There is a saying, boss is always right. In today's scenario
It's
of
just a saying, I feel.
yes,
It's just a
come again.
saying sometimes. Sometimes like it's just a saying. It's not always.
Yes, I understand that. But on the face value, you accept it, and when you find a good opportunity, you can talk it over. But on the face value, never oppose your boss against your boss. Because there are situations in life that may not be acceptable. Maybe professionally also it is not acceptable. But then you have to understand that you have come across and you have to deal with that person. Cannot be a stray happening. It has to be scientific in the sense that person, that situation is making you suffer, making you upset. So there has to be a reason for that too. Science has told us you are whole and soul responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
So you play your part and slowly your own self handling the situation in a very amicable way. Because you can always talk it over on any matter, any issue peacefully. But
Yeah.
you have to wait for a good opportunity. That is there. But learn to play your part.
Okay.
The second portion of your question.
Second portion is when things doesn't happens according to my wish. If I think something that let's go somewhere, if I'm planning some trip or something, let's do it in this way. And if something goes wrong, or if I go to buy something and if I don't get it, I get not exactly angry, but yeah, I don't feel good. And then if somebody talks to me, then I simply shout on them. My nature changes a bit. Not much, but it happens sometimes.
Yes. So there is a wonderful saying that goes or that is revealed by the holistic sciences. Situations are such it will never be as per our desire. The reason for things not happening as per our desire is we live with total contradiction. in the sense to be happy with others. I want to succeed, but I don't put enough efforts. So I am at times going against my goal. I work against my goal. Goes into the nature as negative evidences and they play part in my life situation. So nothing can happen without a cause. So what we need is to have unilateral, singular, forceful decision. And then all these negativities will not happen. Any obstacle that come in our path, fulfilling our desire because of us only. When we accept that situation, accept that principle, then there won't be any reason to get mad on anyone. And you will always try to correct yourself.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Deepakananji, this is Kaushal.
Yeah.
I am a IT architect and a business owner.
I know you.
Thank you. I have a very pertinent question as a parent. Um, I do get angry or visibly disturbed when when I see my son doing something and I know that he might hurt himself. So it's just a reaction that comes out. Don't do that, or I just say, I just yell out his name, Kavan, loudly, just to make sure that he knows. And his reaction is, "Daddy, you scared me." Now my intention is not to scare him, but for him not to get himself hurt, because when he gets hurt, it hurts me. He's in pain, which I cannot see, and then of course it will be me who will be running around trying to get the thing fixed. I'm trying to save myself a lot of trouble, but after your explanation today, it made sense that, okay, even if me yelling or doing something and him getting scared is actually hurting me in the long run, but I don't know how to resolve this situation emotionally or how to do this. This just comes out naturally. So, or that's what I think. So I'm not sure.
Okay, let us handle or try to understand the situation like this. Individual in his course of life, he is learning. And many things someone will learn only through experience. If you look at the kids, then or elders, they don't want them to get hurt. And many times they want to stop them. They are their own world, so they just want to do certain things. So the better way, you try to make them understand. Many times it is possible that you really have no time to make them understand. Maybe you don't have even that patience to make them understand, but you just don't want them to do certain things. You put your foot down and just say, just don't do it, like that. So many times it can scare them, but then certain times you let them do certain things and experience. Of course, it has to be a safe one. If it is, the outcome is dangerous, then we have to stop that. Slowly, it will happen that through the understanding of holistic science, understanding that everyone in his path of life comes across situations and they learn. I give you one example, very weird example. The program, the child was very much interested in playing with the lamp, the light lamp. His parents were just stopping him, don't go there, you get hurt, don't go there, you get hurt. He was just not listening. And a situation came up that do something, and he went inside, and that little kid took the opportunity and went to the lamp. Mistakenly touched the lamp, so he started crying. But then, the outcome of that happening, after that, he never come close to the lamp at all. He said, hurts. You should not go there. Did you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, I can understand that you cannot allow certain things. You just you don't want them to do certain things because the dangerous. But then this is the solution at times. You cannot make them understand because they are not in that age wherein you can make them understand. But you have to make your own adjustment, take those things away or like that, so that you avoid that situation at all.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll try and do that from now on.
Yeah. And one more thing I would like to add, these kids are instinctive. They really do not have preoccupations like how elders have. So instead of telling them not to do certain things, you try to distract their attention, divert their attention somewhere else. And they will forget the previous thing very easily. Sometimes this thing works better than trying to make them understand because that very difficult at times. That's what it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Deepak Anandji, this is Priyanka Taylor from Bahrain.
Yeah.
I have two questions. Firstly, that if any as you said in the previous conversation, that anything happens, it's happening because of us. So
Correct.
what happens? Whenever certain situations result comes negative, then it comes in my mind. Oh, this is my mistake. That is why I got this as a result.
Okay.
But then it keeps on coming as a negative part in my mind, that it keeps on making me upset and not being happy. Why I made this mistake, even though I knew I should have not done that. So how to remove
Okay.
that upsetness or negativeness from the mind, which is not allowing me to getting happy again?
See, the one thing, there are two aspects of one mistake is that which keeps happening in our mind. At the mind level, it plays around. And when those mistakes are really outside, so in the sense like you're not happy with certain thing with someone, but you don't express yourself. So it keeps on going in your mind, keep going on in your mind for a certain time, but you have not done anything about it to correct it, to eliminate it. Because see, the mistake is not committed outside. So you don't feel anything about it. But the day test and you end up misbehaving or it comes into your action, then that is where you really get upset, and it can memory saying that how at all could you commit that mistake. But no, if you really recall that whole situation that was going on in your mind for quite some time, but you did not really pay attention to correct that. So the best understanding what holistic science provides is mistake was committed, it was committed. Anything that happened before this moment is history. And history is meant lessons. So if you are wise enough to accept that mistake, feel extremely sorry for that mistake, and with total conviction and resolution, decide to commit that mistake again. So, wisdom lies in the fact we should understand the gravity of the situation and the consequences what you have to pass through. With that total conviction, you make a firm decision I will commit that mistake again. This will help you eliminate and even remove that uh, disturbance from your mind why at all you committed that mistake, because it is already committed. You already passed through that suffering because of the mistake. So loss you had to incur, you already incurred. So now is acknowledge mistake, correct that mistake, and resolve not to commit ever again. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Those words, it is history. It is
Yeah.
not happening now, it had happened, for which you suffered. And if you don't want to commit, resolve. Okay?
But I have a question here that sometimes I feel that due to that past mistake, I'm still getting sufferings or what? That is not repeated. Okay, it's gone. The mistake is gone. The sufferings are also gone. But if
Yeah.
another suffering comes, I feel it is due to that karmic mistake or what?
No,
So
no.
I
It
remember.
is that suffering is because of the ownership aspect of that suffering. In the sense,
Okay.
who is the sufferer? You, as a self realized person, you know you are separate from Priyanka. So it is Priyanka who suffered, right? But
Yes.
mistakenly, you keep reminding yourself that I committed that mistake, I suffered. And that's how it really brings you down.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
understood.
the sufferer suffers the suffering, not the one who perceives the sufferer and the suffering.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I got that.
So it is like you have to contemplate on that repeatedly and have a about that whole thing, that I am separate
Okay.
from the suffering, I am separate from the sufferer, because I came to know the suffering, I came to understand the sufferer. Priyanka suffered, not you as pure soul. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. I got that.
Yeah.
Um, this is resolved. Thanks. Thanks a lot for this. I have one more question, which is a bit apart from that anger and happiness thing.
Okay.
The thing is that sometimes on any particular situation or for any particular task, my mind keeps on overthinking stuff and overthinking. At times, I stop my mind, okay, by thinking I cannot do anything because the control is not in my hand. The things are going to happen by its own way. But again, after
Right.
certain time, again the thought process will come, which really makes me not at all happy. I get stuck up in the things which is bad. Sometimes it goes to a negative track, which is also not possible in the real life, but it will go. So how to stop this?
See, one thing, you have to your mind a commitment, in the sense, now that you are doing something else, you are occupied with something else, those thoughts keep coming up because those are some kind of unresolved unattended, unrectified problem. So you tell that situation, tell your mind, for this I give you the time tomorrow, come at 10 o'clock
Yeah.
and we will think about it. So it is like you are dealing with your mind. Time, come at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So if that problem is really going on, it is there, it will haunt your memory again at 10 o'clock the next day. And if it doesn't come, do you understand?
Yeah, but some
And
things
if
are
it
really not
comes,
required to be thought, you know. It's just irrational. Anything will come.
that's what, because mind, whatever we expressed ourselves through speech, through language, and the knot got formed in our mind about that particular thing. And it keeps popping up situation. So by giving this kind of a time, a commitment, what will happen? Say you have given, come at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So if it doesn't come, it's fine. If it comes, I'm busy with something else, come okay, tonight, 10 o'clock. So you keep
Okay.
postponing your meeting or your time for that situation. Go away. And in
Okay.
between, if
I'll
it
try
comes
doing
and
that.
again bother you, knocks your door, then tell, I told you, you have to come at 10 o'clock. I'm busy with something. So it will not bother you. You try experimenting this. It's a wonderful experiment.
I'll do that. Okay. Thank you.
Kanunji is Ajay Rawal.
Oh,
Uh,
I know you.
yeah, I'm working as a civil engineer in US,
Right.
and depend on the topic, I do have one question, and
Yeah.
is if some situation arise when a person or your colleague or your subordinate put you on a spot, and that's the reason the anger burst. So
I
how,
really did not get. Come again.
yeah, if
Please
some
come again.
person, yeah, if some person or your subordinate or your colleague put
Yeah.
you in the spot, I'm telling you, if they
On
put
spot. Yes.
myself on spot, and that's the time anger burst out.
Yes.
So I get your direction, the way you discuss, like, is up to us to handle that situation. But when someone put you in the spot, how to handle that anger and situation, so we will not burst ourselves and handle the situation or the condition like in a right way.
See, first of all, when you are put on spot, we have to understand that we got caught in a situation, first of all. And see, initially, it is possible you can get a through retrospection and your experience, you will be able to come out of that situation. So, of situation, you will find your way out from that situation. So one of the possibility is, depending on the situation, you can ask for some time. Oh, I need some time to think about it. I'll get back to you. So many times, it's like you could have discussed this matter, but people put you on spot and want you to come out with some solution. But then you take the opportunity and tell it, okay, I understand that, but I was already working on it and probably I need a little more time. You understand?
Yeah, so the
Because
way
many,
you are
many,
saying is just
many times
relay
what
that.
happens, you do not have the solution at hand, and or you do not have answer at hand. So we get confused, we get suffocated because you don't have an answer. You are put on a spot and you are speechless. So in the situation, oh, I need a little more time to think about it. I'll get back to you. So how you can easily maneuver the situation peacefully with calmness instead of getting upset. And maybe many times other people want to take advantage of that situation and put you on spot. So finally, one thing what science teaches us, there is solution to every problem. Problem in this world which has no solution. No. Every problem has solution. So the timing is not in our hands. So for that time to come, what we have to do is suffering. So if you have learned to handle that situation, that time, then you won't suffer. And even if you suffer, then you know who is suffering. You will not wear that cap that I suffered. You will be able to handle very nicely. You can handle Ajay very nicely, your own body self nicely, amicably. Even if you are put on spot by anyone else, handle them amicably, without hurting them, without getting disturbed, and finding your way out. The reason is suffering you have to pass through is a karmic account. Nobody can do that. But in that suffering, you can remain separate from the sufferer, which the holistic science has very nicely given. So you will be able to perceive the suffering, you will be able to see the sufferer, perceive the sufferer, and remain separate, and rather you can guide the sufferer, make him cool and peaceful. Okay?
Yeah, I get the message. Now, the
Good.
thing is, first thing I need to do is take a time and settle down. That's the first thing.
See, one thing is that never panic. You are supposed to answer on the spot. It is not your examination like you are having an orals exam, viva, and you have to answer, and if you don't answer, you're going to lose your marks. No, it's not like that. But we want to answer, we want to prove ourselves that I am perfect. Don't go into that dangerous area. If someone is trying to put you on spot, find your way out, try to win time, and full answer.
Yeah, thank you.
A time should come that anybody who wants to trap you, catch you, put you on spot, they find out that this guy is a difficult person to handle. Like that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because in the background, we will be correcting ourselves with the direction given by holistic science. So whatever mistakes were committed by us, knowingly or unknowingly, we are correcting ourselves. So when that mistake is not there, there is nobody in this world who can put or could hurt us or whatever it is. You understand?
Yes.
The person
But
is not the doer. He is an instrument in the scheme of Mother Nature. He's a delivery person. So we don't have to see him at fault, because it is not his fault at all. It's our fault only. But we are not able to handle ourselves, which is working through him. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. The word you
Yes.
explained is a delivery person, because that if we understand that on the same moment, that would make it make a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Good evening, Hipakanji. This is Rajnikant Patel, retired executive writing children's book, and from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Earlier, you had said that anger can be used as a weapon, but we know that anger is not good. And in the sense you were saying to use the weapon as a power to pursue somebody, isn't that also violence, because you may end up hurting other person? So then that weapon is not the right way to go.
Exactly. When you use that as a weapon, you are using that in a controlled atmosphere, in a controlled condition. Your head totally out of the blue. No, it is not. In a controlled way, you are using that because the other person is not trying to understand the importance of the situation, importance of the decision, and importance of the instruction which the person needs to follow. So through you are terrorizing the person, but then the loss, what you incur getting angry, is nothing compared to what result you achieve by making the person do as per your instruction. You understand? Yes, there is a factor of violence, there is a factor of loss in that situation, using anger as a weapon. But then you, for a higher goal, for a better result, you are using that. Overall, you are benefiting yourself and of course the other person also.
Yeah, but normally you can probably do with your children or something, but other situations like most of the people are talking about work and other places, it is not conducive to use this kind of power. Otherwise, you may get into trouble.
Yes, so it is like, you know, this nuclear power plant, nuclear fission to generate power. So what is that? That is a violent use of science, physics, controlled. With total control, you are using it in a beneficial way. You won't be using it very often, but it is needed, then you don't want to do it, but at times situation demands and you have to do, then only you're doing it.
So internally, you need to be very crystal clear that you don't want to hurt the person, but you want the things to happen for him and for you or her for them. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. So it is like, you know, you have to use these weaknesses in a very controlled way for benefit and all. So you know, it is like sorry for that. I'll just make a clarification. If you want to, like say, if you want to cut steel, then you use steel to cut the steel.
Yes.
You understand that?
Okay. Okay.
So it is like you are using the weakness itself to remove or handle the weakness. But by using that weakness, you are using that weakness in a controlled and protected way. It's done.
Okay. Yeah, that now makes sense. I have one final question. I know we are maybe running out of town, but you know, most of the people don't like to be angry. So how can we understand anger so we can start minimizing anger so we do not burn ourselves inside and not burn other persons inside also?
See, there is one thing the holistic science has such a wonderful and insight about our life and living. So there is normally need angry at all. But the life situation, you don't come across all those kind of people in the sense who are very straightforward and accept whatever you tell them to do. You have to learn to dramatize your nature, your dealing, and that's how you have to get things done. Dramatic aspect of it should be well cultivated and understood. You can use in a very positive way. Really needs a lot of skill and thinking and patience. Then it can be used that way. But eventually, you will not come across any situation wherein you have to use any other weakness to handle the situation. And of course, even when you use anger dramatically to handle any situation, there would be a factor of correction even in that. In the sense, you would be correcting yourselves, whatever it is for the person, you have to correct yourself. Although you did it for a better purpose, for a higher goal, but you will correct yourself.
How do you correct yourself?
Oh, so it's like, although it was a dramatic way of getting angry and getting things done, but you still hurt them. So you feel sorry for, and you decide, better I should not come across such a situation wherein I had to use even this anger dramatically. Situation is result of our projection. So when we change our projection, our life situation changes naturally. So we had decided that I will fix everyone. Even if they don't do, then I will make them understand by any means. It's how situation, and we have to deal in that manner. So we have to remember, nothing comes out of nothing. So for every happening, we are only responsible. So if we change our projection, design, our life will change. For every happening, we are only responsible. Because what we see around in the world is our reflection. That is holistic science.
Yeah, thank you very much. That makes sense.
Okay, wonderful. I think we are just about over our time, just about our time. Thank you, Deepak Anandji, for a wonderful explanation of what is anger, how it is caused, and what are the tools and understanding that we can use to handle anger in our personal and professional life. Now, you gave some good analogies. I think next time I'm angry and pause for a second and think about what I can do based on this discussion. This is a
Thank you
very
so
deep
much.
talk. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.